Incoming transmission.
Welcome, Watchers of Illusion, to the Castle of Confusion, and welcome to this Friday night review. And it's Final Fight 2 on the Super Nintendo. So I'll now be quiet while the intro plays out, and I'll be back with you shortly afterwards. And there we have it, Final Fight 2, the intro, and yes, Mad Gear is back. So here we go, the character select screen, Haga back from the original. We've got newcomers, Maki and Carlos. Yes, so we're going to go with Haga, who has had a bit of an upgrade in looks since Final Fight. This is actually a SNES only release as well, so don't go looking for this one on the arcades, folks, because you won't find it. So as you can see, nice and crisp and very clear. And look at the size of those sprites, yet again, keeping with the Final Fight tradition. Quite why anyone would keep their stereo in a oil drum is beyond me. Anyway, as you can see, the animations have improved. Haga now has a few more tricks up his sleeve. The really bizarre strap switching is still there. As you can see, clearly he only has one strap, but yet when he turns around, it's on that side too, so that's a bit of a weird one. His spinning lariat is still there, but now he's got this big suplex that he does now, which is great. And the big boo move, I like to call it, the element of surprise. He just jumps in the air, boo! He doesn't actually say boo, that's just me adding that in for comical effect. Anyway, yeah, so as you can see, there's stuff going on in the background. If you look at that, there is actually Chun-Li in the background. That's a bit of an Easter egg, which I didn't notice the first time I played this, actually. So, yeah. Oh, and look, even another nod to Street Fighter there. Zangief's spinning pile driver is present in the game as well. So, yeah, some nice little Street Fighter Easter eggs in this game. But I never noticed Chun-Li eating rice in the background before. So, that's something new for me as well. So, yeah, as you can see, Haga has had a bit of a makeover. No longer in his mare attire. He's now got these big hobnail boots on. Proper gloves, and also his trousers are now sort of tough and camo type, so that's cool. And he actually looks the part this time. I don't know if you knew this, but you can actually play as Haga in Saturday Night Slam Masters on the arcade game. That's another game where Haga is present and playable. Weapons in this game aren't quite as bountiful as they were in the original Final Fight. You can see there I had a plank of wood there, but there's not much else. I think there's a nightstick and there's a knife as well, but that's about it, whereas you had quite a bit more to play with on the original Final Fight. I love Haga because it's just amazing wrestling moves, big suplexes, and as you can see from the original Final Fight, you can actually suplex these bad guys into each other and cause a bit of damage. I think my only gripe really is that the game's a little bit too easy in a way. You get 5 lives, or 4 lives I think you need, but you can add to them. I think once you reach a certain score you're going to get an extra life. If you find I think there's a guy doll as well, if you get that gives you another life as well. The bad guys have got a bit of a makeover, but again, it's kind of let down on the fact that it's still the same people over and over and over again, not even with different names. Now I like this because you have to actually go down into the level rather than just keep going left and right. So this was quite a nice feature I wanted to show you guys while I was playing, because I noticed this and thought, oh, that's quite clever. Difficulty's alright, it's not too bad, but with the four lives, it's kind of maybe just a touch too easy. You can adjust the difficulty setting on the Super Nintendo game actually. There is an easy, medium and hard setting, so if this is too easy for you, crank it up to the max difficulty. And I think, if I'm thinking of this correctly, the only way you get to see the proper ending is to do it on the top difficulty setting. Here's our first boss, who, if you remember the bosses from the original Final Fight, were actually not too hard to get down into the yellow. As you see, 1-1 here still has a green bar, and I believe that's... Yes, he's going to take a bit of a wailing to get down. So I'm hammering on him with this 2x4 and suplexing him all over the place. Oh, just lost it. As you can see, it's just turned green now, so he's got another level of health gone. We need to get him down into the yellow, same as our health, but he's just going to come and squash me like a bug. So I've lost my plank now. But suplexing him, grabbing hold of him, and actually getting out of his way is fairly easy, to be honest. There we go, knocked him into the proper health bracket now. So, but I mean, I have to say the actual size of the sprites is really impressive. I mean, you definitely know that's a boss character, which is always a bonus in these games because sometimes bosses aren't exactly, noticeable. But in this, it's certainly noticeable. Pretty impressive sprite, pretty impressive, and the animation's good as well for all the different moves they've put in for Haga anyway. It's just a nice variety over the original Final Fight to actually play. So I'm about to knock him on his arse. There you go. 1-1 has now lost. So there we are. That's the first boss of the game. Round 1 is clear. So we're going to hop into round 2. But before we do that, we get a bit of an update. So after defeating 1-1, Mackie, Carlos and Haga learned that the Mad Gears gang base of operations had been moved to Europe. 1-1 told them that Rina and Jinrasai are being taken there. So basically that's where we're going now. It just gives a bit of narrative in between. Anyway, I want to show you the other characters. So here's Mackie now, who I would probably say is closest to Guy from the original, who's weirdly absent from this game, considering that basically it's kind of his storyline that we're following, and yet we're not following Guy at all. It's these two newbies. So she's kind of like Guy was in the original Final Fight. You see she punches, kicks and all that. And the other thing I have to say is that whether or not it increases on the difficulty, but when you're doing the special attacks, which I'm going to try and pull off for you now, there you go, you don't lose any health this time round. So basically you could just exploit it and just keep doing it over and over again. However, it doesn't seem to be overly powerful. It's more like a get out of trouble button more than anything else. So you can't really cheat with it, I don't think. So that's why I'm not bombarding it here. But you can see that the animations are nice. She does a nice shoulder throw. There you go, the flying kick, which is really nice as well. She's actually quite a good all-round character, but very reminiscent of Guy from the original Final Fight. So if you like Guy's playstyle, she's probably the one you want to go with. The other great thing about the SNES version of this game is that you can play 2-player simultaneously, which the original Final Fight on the SNES sadly lacked. And it's really good to see them put it in on this game. Obviously I'm playing solo here, so I didn't get a chance to actually show you the multiplayer mode. But you can grab a friend, you can both play as long as you've got 2 controllers, and away you go. So you can, and there is also a cheat, I believe, where you can choose to be the same character. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I believe so. So anyway, we're going around. I'm going to show you Carlos as well in a few minutes, and we'll go on for that. But as you can see, that's that really nice sort of get out of jail free card there, the spinning kick, which is very nicely animated. But yeah, backgrounds are nice. I think, to be honest, the only problem I got with the Final Fight series is that it just becomes a little bit bland after a while. You're kind of doing the same old. But when you think about the age of the game and back when it was released, I think that it does it justice, and it's a nice continuation of the game as well. They did release 2 more sequels, Final Fight 3, which again was another SNES game, which, by the way, is my next review, so look out for that one coming soon. And also they did Final Fight... what was it called? There's another one. Bear with me a second while I just think about it. No, it's gone. It's gone from my head. Why has it gone from my head? It is called... Nope, it's gone. No, completely gone. How weird. Oh, Final Fight Revenge. Yes, and that was an arcade game. So basically the only real successor to the arcade was Final Fight Revenge. So anyway, here we see some familiar faces as well. Andor and his family. And here's Carlos. Now you see he's got a sword on his back, but he doesn't actually use it very much. He uses it for his special attack, but that's it. He does this judo throw there when you grab hold of him. There you go, there's his special attack with his sword. It's the only time he ever takes it out. I'd say, I don't even think this guy's similar to Cody, to be honest. It's kind of like a new fighting style, really, that they've put in. But he's quite fluid to play. The animations are nice and smooth, and he does a fair bit of damage as well. The the punch animation is a little bit on the on the dodgy side. He might be calling them names, if you see what I mean. But anyway, yeah, Carlos's animation is very nice. He does a lot of grabs and that weird hand gesture movement. And but yeah, he also does a bit of a strange stance as well. But that's fine. That's fine. But as you can see, that's your character selections. So I've shown you a bit of Hager, shown you a bit of Maki and Carlos as well, kicking some butt. And I really want to take you up to see the next boss, and also one of the bonus stages. You can see there's another Andor there. They seem to have got themselves some proper clothes this time round instead of the spotty leotards that they had in the first game, which I always thought was a bit of a strange choice, but I believe they were supposed to be wrestlers. So Hager is also a pro wrestler as well, so he's had a bit of a makeover as you saw earlier on in the video. Anyway, approaching the boss, I believe, soon, but I just wanted to give you a real good, nice idea of how Carlos played, as opposed to Maki and Hager. Now, these guys are attacking me now look a little bit like Zangief in the way that their body markings are. I don't know whether that's supposed to be a homage to the Street Fighter 2 franchise, but obviously done by Capcom anyway, so it wouldn't really be surprising, would it, considering we've already seen Chun-Li anyway, and the spinning pile driver. Yeah, so the mobs are okay. I think there's not enough variety, but then that was my gripe with the original Final Fight as well, so nothing we can really do about that. But knocking the shamrocks out of them with a mate, you can't really beat that. I always think that multiplayer is always going to triumph over a single player, because if you can bring your friends along, it just doubles the fun, doesn't it? But yeah, so that's Carlos, and I'm going to be going up and facing the next boss shortly, if my memory serves. So I'm going to just chuck these guys all over the place, and there was nothing in that barrel. That's just inconsiderate of whoever left that there with nothing in it. The jump kicks are really nicely done. There's another Andor there as well. Oh, it's G Andor. But you can see there's a guy there called Elik, and he actually does electric attacks there. He's got a battery attached to him. So the level of detail on the mobs is quite nice. You can see that guy there's got a shirt that looks 2 sizes too big. But it's nice to see the variety early on. I mean, the Andor family seem to be quite prevalent. I don't know. However you say it. It's kind of nice to see them cameo. Alright, here's the boss. So this guy is huge, and he was actually quite tough to take down. You also get these guys spawning in as well, which don't help, because when you're concentrating on them, he'll just come and sort of run into you and knock you on your backside rather quickly, like that. But look at the sprite, absolutely brilliant. And you know, I can't help thinking that this is maybe a bit of homage to Guile's level on Street Fighter, because his level was an aircraft carrier, wasn't it? So you can see the animation detail. The sound's really nice as well, actually. The SNES, I always thought the Super Nintendo did a really, really good job on sound. I love the sound on the Super Nintendo. Music is really, really good. Nice beefy sound effects as they punch and kick and all that stuff as well. So it's one of my favourite things. I had a Super Nintendo when I was growing up. I didn't particularly like the Mega Drive. I think that was more down to the pad than anything else. But the sound level on the Super Nintendo was, I think, superior, and it shows in this game, certainly. Some nice big thuds. I will be reviewing Streets of Rage at some point, so keep your eyes open for that one. But I want to cover Double Dragon as well. I'm in my beat-em-up phase at the moment, I think, but that's coming soon. Still haven't killed this guy. Look how much health he's got. But as you can see, people are cheering me on in the background. Oh, now we've got him down. There we go. Now he's in his health. Okay, so this has been Final Fight 2 on the Super Nintendo. I do recommend, if you haven't played it, to give it a go, because I think you'll enjoy it, especially if you're a fan of the original. You can't really go wrong with Final Fight. It is just a fun game. And, you know, if you've had a tough day, come home, mash some faces with your control pad. Not real faces, you know, talking in-game here. But I've given you a taste of Final Fight 2. It is a nice sequel. I wouldn't say it's necessarily better than the first game, but with the addition of the new moves for Hager, I think that's cool. The absence of Cody and Guy is just bizarre, so unfortunately I have to downscore it on that as well. But here we have a return of an old friend. Yes, the car braking mini game. Yeah, so there's the nightstick. As you can see, there's a plank of wood, and we're just going to beat the shamrocks out of this car. And while he's doing that, I'm going to take this moment to bid you a farewell. Thank you for watching the video. Hope you liked it. Leave me a comment to let me know if you've played this and what you thought of it. And also, any feedback is always welcome. So until next time, my friends, where I should be reviewing Final Fight 3 on the Super Nintendo, I bid you a very good weekend and enjoy the bank holiday, folks. And I'll catch you next time. Take care now. See you on the next video. Bye-bye.
Okay.